The scene begins with tension thick in the air. The billionaire, clearly displeased with the service, is on the verge of leaving, his frustration visible in every gesture. His anger seems unshakable. He is accustomed to having his demands met immediately, and any perceived slight or delay is intolerable. The staff, accustomed to handling difficult patrons, watches nervously as he prepares to storm out, expecting the usual display of wealth-driven impatience. But then, everything changes in an instant. The waitress, calm and composed, addresses him in fluent Arabic, the billionaire's native language. The words, simple yet profound in their effect, pierce through the cloud of irritation surrounding him. Suddenly his anger begins to dissipate, replaced by genuine curiosity. The way she speaks to him is not merely functional. It carries a subtle acknowledgement of his culture and identity, something money and status alone cannot convey. This unexpected gesture forces him to pause, reconsider, and engage. His attention, once focused solely on leaving and expressing dissatisfaction, shifts to understanding the woman before him. The small act of speaking his language bridges a gap that wealth could never fill. In this moment, he experiences a humbling realization. Respect, connection, and recognition often come from the most unlikely sources. The waitress's awareness and empathy create a powerful, humanizing moment that transforms the interaction entirely, proving that even the most privileged individuals can be moved by simple, thoughtful actions. In the end, frustration turns into admiration, anger into curiosity, and a brief encounter becomes an unforgettable lesson in humility, human connection, and the power of genuine understanding. Sometimes, it's the simplest gestures that carry the greatest weight. In this story, the waitress does something so small yet so powerful. She speaks the billionaire's native language. To most, it might seem insignificant, just a few words in Arabic. But in reality, it completely transforms the interaction. In that instant, the cold, transactional nature of the encounter melts away, replaced by a human connection that no amount of money, status, or influence could create. Her choice to speak his language signals more than communication. It shows awareness, effort, and empathy. It demonstrates that she sees him as a person, not just a wealthy client or an impatient critic. For the billionaire who is used to people catering to his demands simply because of his wealth, this human acknowledgement is a revelation. It reminds him that true respect and understanding are earned through attention, thoughtfulness, and genuine recognition, not through power or financial dominance. This moment highlights a universal truth. Awareness and empathy can create bridges where authority and money cannot. The waitress's simple act instantly humanizes the interaction, breaking down the invisible walls that status often builds. It reminds both parties and anyone witnessing the exchange that connection comes from shared understanding and consideration, not from social hierarchy. Ultimately, this brief, seemingly small gesture leaves a lasting impression. It proves that even in a world dominated by wealth and privilege, kindness, awareness, and the courage to reach out to someone in their own language can have a far greater impact than power ever could. A single act of empathy, in the right moment, can transform an entire encounter, turning tension into respect and leaving a memory that neither money nor status could ever replicate. The moment the waitress speaks to the billionaire in his native language does more than just halt his anger. It fundamentally shifts his perception of the world around him. Accustomed to people reacting to his wealth and status rather than to him as a person, he rarely experiences interactions where he feels genuinely seen or understood. This small act, coming from someone he might have otherwise considered ordinary, carries a profound lesson. Respect is not earned through power or money alone, but through recognition, empathy, and authentic human connection. As he listens to her, he begins to notice the nuances of her attention and care. She is not trying to impress him, nor is she intimidated by his authority. Instead, she communicates in a way that acknowledges his identity and makes him feel understood on a human level. In that moment, the billionaire realizes that all his wealth and influence could never replicate this experience of being truly recognized. The encounter becomes a mirror, reflecting how hollow status can feel without genuine human connection. This transformation is subtle yet powerful. It shows that even the most privileged individuals can be humbled by the authenticity and insight of someone who operates outside their world of luxury. A simple act, free of ulterior motives, commands respect far more effectively than any display of power. The billionaire's perspective shifts, not just toward the waitress, but toward the realization that people, regardless of their social position, hold value and influence in ways that money cannot buy. Ultimately, this encounter becomes more than a brief interaction. It is a lesson in humility, empathy, and respect. It proves that genuine recognition and understanding, even from an ordinary person, can leave a lasting impression on the most extraordinary individuals, reshaping how they view human connection and the true meaning of respect.